Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. Those of you who are not subscribed yet, please do so. It is a free way to support me. I promise I shall not always say things you like. I promise little to no clickbait. And I promise that I'm not always right, but I try my best to get the most accurate information. You may not always get the most salacious stories here, but we are aiming for the truth and not the fantasy. So if you can accept that, then please push the subscribe button. Okay, and before I move on to our royal and not so royal story, I would like to give a shout out to Rainbow Pyramid, who did an oracle card reading on me. It was really lovely, and according to my daughter and one friend, very accurate. I personally think she gave me a little too much credit, but then I am my own harshest critic, and I feel that I'm basically just doing what I can when I can. Anyway, I want to thank her for thinking about me, and she is clearly a subscriber, so I thank her for that as well. I'll leave a link to the video and her channel in the description box for you. Okay, guys, what shall we tackle today? Let's see. Okay, so along with the hurricane, I'm also following the P. Diddy case. And quite frankly, if it wasn't scary before, it certainly is now. One of my favorite Hollywood people was Ashton Kutcher, whom I thought was a relatively good guy, and secretly I'm still just hoping that Ashton knew and was maybe friendly with Diddy, just like we can't say that all of the thousands of people who knew Diddy are guilty of the same crimes as him. I know that in my lifetime, I knew people for years and years and worked with them or were friendly with, just to find out years later that I actually didn't know them at all. And just because I knew them certainly did not mean that I knew about their other activities or that I would have approved. I mean, in 90% of the cases, I certainly would not have approved. However, as I'm hoping Ashton Kutcher is one of the innocent friends, I'm seeing more and more stories, and my hope is indeed diminishing little by little. What I also find very curious is that our darling Oprah seemed to know all the deviants like Weinstein and now Diddy. A strange thing that, isn't it? Anyway, we want to get to dear old Harry at some point, don't we? But I'm afraid I'll have to get to Harry via a side story. Some of you will know who Corey Gamble is, and some won't. I think I mentioned him a couple of months ago, but fleetingly, so I do not expect you to remember him from my videos, okay? Now, Corey Gamble is a 43-year-old black actor and Kris Jenner's much younger boyfriend, who incidentally first dated one of her daughters. Now, don't ask me which one. I really don't care. It's not relevant, and I'm not going to waste time looking. Now, I mentioned Corey Gamble in March this year when he was one of the guys Harry went on a skiing trip with. And there's no point even denying it, because Harry and Corey were seen and photographed together, and it was said that Harry and Corey had formed a friendship. Now, as always, I am not a fly on the wall, nor am I even American. So I rely as well as I can on information received, number one, from individuals, number two, the mainstream media, and number three, social media. So for legal reasons, I have to declare what is to follow comes from all three these sources: individuals, mainstream media, and social media. And I repeat, I cannot vouch for the validity and the truth of what is to follow. I personally view it as unsubstantiated gossip. And now that we know for a fact Harry and Corey have spent time together and may be friends, I'm first going to tell you what I heard and read about Corey. Now, fact, not gossip, is that both Corey Gamble and Kris Jenner know P. Diddy well, and they were indeed friendly. I'm posting one or two pictures of Corey and Diddy, but there are many more with and without Kris Jenner, and there are photographs of Kris Jenner and Diddy with and without Corey. As a matter of fact, there is a rather long history between Diddy and the Kardashians. For instance, they were all invited to Diddy's 50th birthday party. Now, another fact is that Harry had been named in multiple lawsuits against P. Diddy. However, his name had been redacted in a couple of them, and currently we, the public, are only able to see Harry's name in the one lawsuit, the one Little Rod brought against Diddy for $30 million. Now, it is alleged that Corey Gamble's name is one of those redacted in a few lawsuits as well. And it is alleged that his name was redacted to protect Harry, because Corey and Harry went to freak out parties or a freak out party together. Allegedly, certain parties were, or entities or people, I don't want to get too specific, were very proud of the fact that Harry and Corey partied together publicly. Okay, now, there are two rumors about Meghan. One is that Meghan will now slowly start leaking the friendship between Harry and Corey and the wild shenanigans they got up to as preparation for her and Harry's divorce. The other rumor is that Meghan came across Corey in her yacht girl days, and it is said that she was a starlet open to partying on David Geffen's yacht. Now, David Geffen is an American film producer, record executive, and media proprietor. Now, Kris and Corey are often on David Geffen's yacht and seen partying with him. But there is, however, no proof that Meghan ran into Corey and Kris, or Corey or Kris on Geffen's yacht back in the day. And like Christopher Jones, and you should know who Christopher Jones is, otherwise I'll talk about him in the next video. I'll just remind you who he is. But anyway, Christopher Jones quite rightly says there's a huge gap, years and years, between Meghan's yachting days and Corey meeting David Geffen. So this particular story is likely not true at all, just mischief making. what this all does, however, prove is that Harry and Corey are rather closely connected. Remember, Kris Jenner was also photographed with Doria, Harry's mother-in-law. So it is undisputable that Harry is rather closely connected to Corey Gamble, and Corey Gamble is indeed closely connected to Diddy. As a matter of fact, so close to Diddy was Corey Gamble that there is now even speculation that Corey helped Diddy, Murder, Kim Porter. So, my dear friends, if we thought it was unlikely that Harry attended a freak off or freak out or whatever it's called, it is becoming more and more likely that he may have. So what now? Will Harry be called as a witness? Is this why Harry was fighting so hard for IPP status? My friends, like I said, it is already a nasty business, which looks like it is going to get worse before it gets better. Okay, guys, now that is it from me for today. I will see you sometime over the weekend. So until then, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.